Jon Francis, welcome to California.
Thank you.
It's got to be a real fall from grace to come from Texas to California. It's not a good thing.
No, it's not. I'm glad to be here for just a short period of time.
So you are running, I'm shocked to hear this, you are running for the Texas House.
Yeah.
You have a good life. Why would you enter politics?
Oh, that's such a good question. The bottom line is that I'm in such a conservative area of Texas that, our current representative is conservative, but he decided not to run for re-election. And it was only after that he got out that I decided to get in. And the reason is that we need to make sure that we have somebody that's willing to fight for our values. And I don't have any strings attached to me. I'm a conservative warrior. And the reality is we need somebody that's willing to fight for us. And that's why I'm running.
This is the thing. Those of us who, especially in California, but I think a lot of conservatives around the country, we're watching Texas with bated breath. I mean, Texas has been so successful. If there had been no Texas, the Obama administration would have been revealed for the sort of jobless carnival it was. But
right.
Texas remained an engine of job creation. So all the people are leaving California.
Right.
And they're going to Texas. And we're afraid that they're going to turn Texas into California. Is that actually a threat?
It's terrifying.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's scary that people are, they're coming from an area that is depressed and they're going into an area that's prosperous. And they need to know why. Why are we prosperous? And the answer is that it's the free market. So the less government you have, the more freedom you have, and the more you're able to do well. And it's just that simple. And so it's scary to me to have people coming in and bringing their values with them. It's kind of like if you were moving from a socialist, Venezuela or whatever, and come into the U.S., don't bring your politics with you.
Yeah. I mean, are you worried about it? Do you think,
Yeah, I am. I am worried about it because, the bottom line is we've got so many people out there that are young people that have been misled and have not been educated about why are Judeo-Christian values superior and why are free market principles superior. And they need to know they need to know why and they haven't been taught that in school. They haven't been taught that certainly not at the university level. And it's a terrifying thing. That's the reason that Prager University has been so successful, because they're teaching young people why are these values superior? And they have to know that. We have to focus on that or we're going to not only lose Texas, we're going to lose the nation.
Yeah. One of the things that people don't know about Texas is that the House, their government doesn't meet all that often, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's only it's every 2 years we're in session, and for 6 months, and but that's the way it ought to be.
I was going to say, if we could export that to Washington, D.C.
That'd be good. Yeah. I've had the thought that maybe we should move the capital, just randomly move it to different parts of the country so it keeps them on their toes.
So obviously the big national issue in Texas is the border. I mean, that is the biggest thing. How is that going? I mean, I keep hearing, my friend Ann Coulter is always hammering Trump about this because he hasn't built the wall yet. How is it really going down there?
So the reality is that building the wall is absolutely critical. It's an open border practically. And it's a scary thing, and if we don't build the wall, we do not have a country. It's just that simple. And the thing that's upsetting about it to me is that you have people that are coming to this country illegally, and they're able to get taxpayer subsidies, and we need to end it. We need to stop it. That's the reason that they're coming. I'm for President Trump and actually building the wall. I mean, for how many decades have we been told, yeah, we're going to secure the border. We're going to secure the border, and they never do. And I'm sick and tired of it. And I think all the people in my district, we voted 80% for Donald Trump, and I'm just telling you that it's a huge issue. Every single voter is telling me, make sure to secure the border. So, the state government can do a lot to help out in that situation. They fund it to the tune of $800 million every session, so every 2 years, to help the DPS, Department of Public Safety, to try to help. But the reality is it's a federal issue, and we've got to build the wall. It literally is just that simple. I feel like that it's kind of an immoral situation too, where you have illegal immigrants that come in, and they're just for one example, so they get in-state tuition. So what that means effectively is that if you're from Oklahoma, you're a U.S. citizen from Oklahoma, you have to pay out-of-state tuition. If you're an illegal immigrant from Mexico, you get in-state tuition. I think it's immoral. So we need to stop it.
Yeah. I mean, is that now that sounds like something the state can control?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So when you watch, one of the things that really interests me, I mean, I've been in coastal cities my whole life. I've lived in New York, I've lived in L.A., I've lived in London, and so I'm kind of used to the coastal people. Right. When I watch TV, I know those guys, I know who they are, I know why they think the way they do. When you look at television, and you see the comedians all hammering Trump, and you see the news. If you watch television, I mean, I don't even know if you.
I don't watch TV.
You don't watch it at all?
I've turned it off because I can't stand it. And I got to tell you, there's so many people that are just so fed up with everything that's happening. It's a waste of time, and it's just propaganda, and I turn it off.
Wow. I mean, you just disconnect completely.
Absolutely.
You go to the movies?
Yeah, we go to the movies.
Do you ever go to the movies and sit there and think like these people are crazy, or do the movies have something closer to your values?
It depends on what movie you're talking about. I mean, there's not very much. You know, here's the bottom line: the culture is so important.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you.
That's why I'm asking.
It's where it's at, and if we don't connect with people culturally, we're going to lose this country. And so, you know, I look at how many people are voting for Bernie Sanders, young people, and it's terrifying to me because they haven't been taught the value system, and really it's because of the movies, it's because of the TV, and that's what they've learned from the time they're, you know, little children. And that's another reason that I'm terrified of, you know, you hear all these efforts to try to get to your children even earlier. So now they're doing pre-K. Yeah. I mean, from the time they're born, boom, we want to start teaching them about big government. And I think it's terrifying.
So one of the things that has happened because of this, because of mass communication, is a lot of people focus on the federal government instead of local government.
Right.
So what are the issues that are bothering the people in your district?
Well, the biggest issue right now is just the fact that it's such a sham with the impeachment. I mean, I literally have been knocking on doors like a madman, you know, in this campaign, and I can't tell you the number of people that I've talked to. There was a woman. She's 97 years old. She comes to the door, and she is just fiery mad. I mean,
really?
I'm not kidding. I mean, it was almost scary. She come to the door. She opens the door. She says, "I want you to know," she said, "they're not demeaning the man." She said, "They are demeaning the presidency, the office of the presidency, and I am ticked off."
Really?
I mean, just fire in her eyes. These people are upset about it. And of course, this district in Texas, the rural parts of Texas, are extremely pro-Trump. And, you know, the bottom line is that we need less government and we need more freedom.
Yeah.
And, you know, across the board. And it's better for business and it's better for the citizens. And, you know, no one is against having legal immigration. If you're coming into the country and you're a productive person, but the whole idea of having illegal immigration is it's anathema to the state, and I think it's super important.
What about guns? When you look at what's happening in Virginia, and you know, one of the problems with the gun issue is that there are laws that make sense to people, but we know that the Democrats want to take our guns away.
Oh,
they say it out loud, you know. So Texas is a state famous for people being strapped. I mean, it's famous for people
absolutely
being armed. Yeah, and
I'd be armed right now if I didn't have to go through LAX. You know, I'll tell you a story. I got to meet Jack Wilson. This was at one of my very first.
This is the guy who stopped the church shooting.
That's right. Yeah, in Fort Worth and in White Settlement. Anyway, but I met him, and you know, he and I talked about the importance of the Second Amendment, and I told him I'm on my church security team, and he told me that he's the team. This was the week before he shot that man. And by the way, the guy was he was adjudicated mentally incompetent. Mm-hmm. He should never have had a gun. In other words, he was illegal.
Right.
The gun itself was legal, but he should not have had that gun legally. So in other words, people are going to get the criminals are going to get the guns regardless. So what I'm tired of is when the government comes in and they're trying so desperately to take guns away from law-abiding citizens. You're right. They want to take our guns, period. Yeah. And the reason they want to take your gun is because they don't like the fact that that is the ultimate check and balance of a free citizenship and citizenry. And anyway, it's terrifying to me. Yeah. So we need to actually fight back as hard as the left pushes to take our guns. We need to be making sure that we're not allowing them any quarter whatsoever on that issue. It's so important.
Last question. I'm going to assume you're going to win because obviously you got what it takes.
Well, I hope so.
If you're going to be in the government once every 2 years for 6 months, do you essentially maintain your life as it is?
Oh yeah.
So you can still continue to work and.
Oh yeah, I'm going to continue having my full-time job, and of course I'll be going. The reality is it's not a full-time job, but at the same time it is a full-time job too. So, but yeah, I'm gonna maintain the job that I have right now, and I'm gonna do this in addition.
It's a much saner way to run the government.
I agree.
Well, Jon, it's great to see you, and I wish you the best of luck. Let me know what happens.
I will. Thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on.